Hi, everyone. I'm Kimberly from CEV. Thank you for joining us for the From Officer to Teacher Best Practices for Teaching Law and Public Safety session. I'm excited to have Dr. Tom Washburn from Lapson join us today to lead this session. He has some great industry experience to share with us, so I'm going to hand it over to you, Tom.
All right, so howdy folks out there. I am the executive director of Lapson. I just recently retired from teaching, and I was going to go through our what Lapson is and let you know about some great resources that we have and how we collaborate with iCEV as well. So we're going to jump right to the PowerPoint. And so Law and Public Safety Education Network is abbreviated as Lapson, so it's a little easier to say. Lapson is actually a relatively new organization, but it's a continuation of a large, several different groups' work. So I'm going to talk about Lapson. So when I started in 1996, the internet was brand new. We were just getting started in a lot of things. And I was, at my last assignment as a law enforcement officer was a school resource officer. And our school system and I had been in discussion about trying to start a law and justice program. And the best we could figure out, nothing like it existed. Back then, it's hard for us to remember the days before the internet, but we could not find anything. And we knew we wanted to have a program with law and with corrections and with legal, kids that want to go into legal services and policing. And it was extremely difficult. I had, to figure out all on my own, the resources, how to do lesson plans, find textbooks, all the new teacher thing. I'm becoming a new teacher. We had to buy supplies, we had to buy equipment, and just had absolutely no idea what we were doing. And we made a lot of mistakes. In fact, my last high school that I taught at probably still has about 10 buckets, 5-gallon buckets of fingerprint powder. So we just did a lot of mistakes. But I was a technology guy, so I put us out on the internet and did a website. And right away, we were inundated with people from all over the country wanting to know what we were doing and how we were doing it. And I shared everything. I had such a hard time putting my program together. I was just glad that somebody had a resource to go to. And through that process, I met a number of people at the national level and a lot of folks on the scene. And we began to collaborate. I remember, things have changed over time. Now you just do it on a Google Drive. But back then, people would want my files, and I'd say, hey, send me at the time, you actually had to send a hard drive. And I had to download it. It took like hours. But we would share everything we had and, just trying to really help everybody out over those times. We realized the importance of a network. And to give you an example, when you start, let's say a language arts teacher starts in this fall, they've never taught before, they're going to have 5 to 15 teachers in the language arts department. Most of them have taught that language arts class, this new language arts teacher's teaching. And they're able to go borrow lesson plans and worksheets and pacing guides and all those kinds of things. Well, when I started in law and public safety, the nearest program to me was in Texas. So it wasn't like I could just walk across the hall and borrow a lesson plan. And so over the years, we tried to bring that down to where you do have those opportunities and an easy way for new teachers and veteran teachers to share ways that we do things. And in fact, I got my dissertation, my research was on the induction process of law and public safety educators. And in fact, majority of us, our common experiences at the time were, we were shown to the door, given the keys to the classroom, occasionally a copy of the curriculum if it existed, and they just said good luck. And that was the common experience for most of us. And so I, over the years, just got involved with a lot of different people where we networked. And so what Lapson is all about is making it where you can go to one place and find stuff. We are a nonprofit. We're not here obviously for money. We're not looking to capitalize on any of this stuff. We just want to make it where you can go to one place, find a teacher. Let's say, last year I had a teacher that a friend of mine, he'd been teaching law enforcement for 8 or 10 years, and his program decided there was suddenly going to be fire. And if he wanted to keep his job, he had to change what he was teaching. And he called me, and I sure enough had some folks to connect him with, and we were able to get him enough support that he didn't lose his mind and lose his job. And he learned how to teach fire. And this summer he's actually a fire Academy. It's a funny story. But that was what we wanted to do in Lapson. We want to create a repository where you can go and get answers. And then we found out recently that the technical colleges don't have anything like this, and the community colleges. And so Lapson said, hey, them too. And so we've added this past 6 months, we've added the post-secondary into our lesson plans and into our plans and products and things. And so then we realized there was administrators. Can you imagine trying to administrate a law and public safety program and having never been even as a career tech teacher or something? That's pretty tough. And so we've expanded to provide networks to the administrators at the state level and at the county level. And so what Lapson really is our goal is to make it where anybody that's working in law and public safety education, whether you're an administrator, classroom, a veteran, or a newbie, you can walk in, you can go to our website, or you can contact us, and we're going to be able to try to help you out, or at least direct you to the right people. And so our organization has been growing. We're just over 2 years old. There was a national organization before us that faded away, and we replaced. And I've been a part of that organization as well. But in 2 years, I'm very, very amazed at how much we've achieved. And I think it's because when I just had that last slide and told you what we're doing, you're probably going, hey, that sounds like a great idea. Everybody likes the idea. We all are on board. So when you look at this organization chart, what you'll notice is here at the top is our board members and our state partners. We are driven. We're not like any other education agency I know of. We're driven solely by our state partnerships and our teachers. You tell us what you want and we do it. We go out there and figure out a way. We may not be able to get to it right away, but we have a board meeting coming up, and in that board meeting, our state folks are going to tell us, hey, for example, North Carolina, they needed industry certification. We're working on that. We had another state tell us they needed a new lesson plans. We're working on that. And so that's what really kind of drives us is the board membership and our state partners. And our board is comprised. There are teachers on the board. There's state administrators on the board and a few of our other partners. And you'll see some of our partners in a moment. But they really drive our agency. Other parts of our organization, which you can actually join, is the Technical and Training Assistance Group. This is a group of our experts, our people that really know what they're doing. And if you go to our website, there's more information on we call it TAG. We don't call it T-TAG, that'd be weird. But it's TAG. And the idea is that, you're just the superheroes in these areas, and we want to connect you. And sometimes organizations will bring us in for consulting, and we tap into our TAG team. But a lot of times it may just be I get an email from someone in fire. I don't know a whole bunch of fire. I'll go over to our TAG group and try to connect them to somebody that can answer a question. So if you'd like to be a part of that, that's a way to get involved. The next one down is our advisory states. So we have member states and advisory states. Member states actually join. It's not expensive. We're extremely cheap. But some of our states are just advisory for the moment. My state, Georgia, actually right now is advisory, primarily because we're in transition between leadership at the state level. But they still contribute because even though they're not paying members, we probably have 50 instructors in Georgia that are individual members. And so we want to make sure we're doing what needs to be done there. Another thing down here is the pathway specialist. We actually have broken up into 10 branches. We have law enforcement policing, we have corrections, dispatch, emergency management, fire, forensics, drone operations. That's a new one that's really coming into our area really strong. Skills USA, and some others. And so each of those specialists, and if you look at our page, if we don't have someone listed, you can shoot me an email and say, hey, you know what, I know a ton about that area, I'd love to help out. Feel free to do that. We also have a number of school districts that are members, La Cruces, Denver Public Schools, Oakland, Michigan, there's Charlotte County in Florida, and the school districts have joined, and I'll show you that on the website. We also have state representatives. Every one of our states we're trying to have a representative from. If you go on the website and we don't have one from your state, you'd like to do that, please contact me. They just help us be more aware of the way that your state works. You'd be amazed how much variation there is between states. They also help us make sure we keep up our updates and our contacts and know who's in the state and communicate and collaborate. We also have a large number of partnerships with a very fastly growing group. And iCEV, for example, is one of our partners. They're on our board. They're a vital part in our planning. We're a vital part in their planning. It's a very symbiotic relationship. And then we have our nonprofit groups, ACT and Skills USA and Advanced CTE, that are all on our board. We're on we represent their stakeholders as well. And we all just work together. For example, Skills USA, as we transition to the Atlanta Nationals next summer, Lapson will actually head the development of the fire, criminal justice, and CSI competitions. And Skills USA has talked to us about expanding competitions, possibly adding in something like a tactical team or a high-risk pullover event or a CJ Quiz Bowl. And so we have all these groups we're working with. And you need to understand, this started with not 2 years ago with 7 people. We have grown to a very large organization with a lot going on. These are some of our partners, and this is not even inclusive, but we have just exploded. And again, I think as you're listening to me today, you're saying, man, Lapson, man, that's something, makes sense. And I hope you agree with us. We're going to take a look at the website really, really quick, just to give you an idea of what's there and what you can see. So I'm going to go over there really, really quick. It's lapsonnetwork.org, the N at the end of Lapson and the N in network is the same. Maybe you can see it up here, Lapson Network. And when you come on our website, it's a work in progress. I have to take responsibility for this. I've been working on this for about 4 months as we transition from our old website. Initially, we were using different styles of technology, and we tried to merge them into one, and it's working pretty good. Not perfect, though. Not gonna lie. I taught public safety and law, not web design. But as you come on, we get a lot of our new stuff. We just started a national certification program. That is a really cool, big deal. We can get kids certified and the instructors certified to teach it. You can join our newsletter. Most highly recommended thing, if you do nothing else today, join our newsletter. I had one teacher tell me it's like getting Christmas in her inbox once a month. We share all kinds of materials, all kinds of free stuff, all kinds of resources. Back during COVID, when COVID hit really hard, our partners like iCEV jumped on and they offered a lot of our instructors some free items. We were able to collaborate and share some lesson plans with instructors, lots. So you need to be on a lesson plan. As you come down, you'll see this is the new stuff that's going on. And there's iCEV right there, about 3 distance down here at the bottom. You can join our network because we're your network. It's there as well. And information about our conference, which is changing. We're going to have it online as well. And then all of our social media and some more information. But as you come to the top, tabs kind of take you everywhere. Learn more about who we are, learn about how to join. What comes up, the membership one here. You'll see down here, you can join individually for $25 a year, very, very cheap. You can get your school. I think my school is joined. I think it was $300, or your whole state. If you've got a small state, it's $500. And like, for example, when Georgia joins, which we're supposed to do this fall, everyone in Georgia gets a membership that teaches law, public safety, and their administrators. So we're not into this for the money, but the memberships are super cheap. But if your state doesn't join, you can get your school system to join, or your school, or you can join as an individual. That's up there. Our resource center is ever growing, and here, for example, our state representatives, our list is beginning to grow there. Down to our pathway specialists, I have not had a chance to add those in, but we'll have those in shortly, including links back to the resources. And this is all about change. Wow, this is kind of, look at this. We're going to have tons more product in here, but most of it's going to be in the members only section. And you have to log in to get into that section to be a member. But once you're in that section, membership we're working on a national directory where you're going to be able to come in as a member and search for law programs in your state and find them all. We're trying to get everybody to join the database. We have the resources we're sharing, our conferences, and members get 10% off of all of these things. We have a really cool forum we're just now starting. There's the information about the tag group. And then we're also beginning these courses this fall. But that's in the members only section. And we do have a store. We don't have merchandise yet. We have a t-shirt there, just kind of hold the place. But that's where you pay to join the conference or to join if you want to join membership. If you're in a membership state, make sure you communicate with me because I can give you the code so you can join for free. So if you're North Carolina, South Carolina, California, several other states, shoot me an email. I can get you that code so you don't have to pay, you know, for free. And then we're adding courses, which I'll talk about in just a moment, in contact. So go to our website, lapsonnetwork.org. Super, super, super easy to use. Working on it. If you come across a problem, please shoot me an email, and I will be the one who goes in and fixes it for the time being. But as we, what we're in the works on, we are working on a new teacher class. We are so excited about this fall. We're going to have by hopefully late August, every one night of the week where brand new teachers or less than 3 years experience can come in and do some meetings with some other teachers and share ideas and share frustrations. We're going to bring in some banging veterans that are going to just come and knock out some content and share with you how to do syllabuses and how to do, how to handle things in your classroom and how to organize your lesson plan, all kinds of things we're bringing in. We do have our conference coming up. It is scheduled to be here in Georgia, north of Atlanta, a awesome town called Alpharetta, for the first week of November. But with COVID spiking again, be on the lookout on our website. This is something we're going to be announcing on the website, but it may change. If you're on the newsletter, you'll get that information as well. We're looking at some localized training. We found out some teachers are teaching our programs who haven't been in police training in a while, or here in Georgia, you could have been a paralegal teaching policing. Some states are like that, and we're going to actually try to do a traveling police academy for teachers where in 2 days we'll bring all your skill sets up, and we're looking at that. We're also going to be starting very soon a national committee to update all of our courses. All of our national courses have not been updated in probably 10 years. We have finished the introduction class. That's actually on our website. You can take a look at that. But our goal is to do all of the pathways, all new national standards, and that's all stuff we're going to look at for our members for. So if you join, you can be a part of that discussion. And then we want to try to identify lesson plans for a majority of these courses and course sections. And we have a number of states working with us on that too. So we've got a lot in the works. We have a lot we are hoping to work and make your life better as a teacher, working harder, not smarter. So iCEV, we love iCEV. I used iCEV in my classroom before Lapson existed. And once we started Lapson, talk about a perfect partnership. We both want to develop resources. We both want to support teachers, both vets and newbies. We want to have top tier lesson plans for everybody so that we maximize our education. We want to see that technological integration we're required to have. And we want to make sure that our graduates are as best prepared as we can be. So these are goals that iCEV has, these are goals Lapson has. So talk about a perfect partnership. No wonder they went with our first partners. In fact, we had a good time with them at the ACT conference. But we really enjoyed working with iCEV. We give them feedback on their coursework. They give our members special deals. We just got a really great partnership going on. And so what iCEV has for Lapson, discounts, the big one. If you're a member of Lapson, you can actually get a substantial discount on your iCEV subscriptions. Back during COVID, iCEV and we were talking, and they said, "Hey, let's just put them out there for free. Let's get these classes, these teachers some opportunity to network and get into our iCEV classrooms and see how these products work and if they can use these to bridge the gap as we went digital and as we went to home instruction." And so that is, and then also they offer pilot opportunities as well for Lapson members to get maybe a semester under their belt to see if they like the product and to see if they can benefit from the product, which of course they can. But they offer that to members to give a chance to take a look at them and get a chance to get into iCEV. Once you get into iCEV product line, you'll be hooked. So let me tell you a great story to close out on my part. It's called The Case of the Missing Teacher. I was the program specialist in addition to being a classroom teacher in my county. And I had a nearby program where we had a new instructor. And I went over and worked with him and got him started. He seemed to be doing good. Didn't hear much. And then all of a sudden, about 3 months in, I got a phone call. And this assistant principal was really, really rattled. Apparently, this teacher had been calling sick a lot. And then finally, they had to terminate him or he resigned. I don't remember the exact details. But when they got in the classroom, they realized he had taught very little. And here we are, about halfway through the year. It was right at winter break when we found out. So very difficult to find instructor mid-year. They brought over one of the teachers that was a special ed teacher in our career tech program. And he contacted me, the special ed teacher, and he's panicking because they're thinking, hey, you've got to come in here and save the day. You've got to get these kids caught up. And in our state, pathway testing is very big. It is very important that kids do well. It's very important for our school system. It's part of our scorecard and our accountability. So I got with this guy when we got back from break. I'll just call him Gray because it's his name. And Gray was, we sat down and showed him the iCEV product. Gray was instantly relieved. We put the plan together on how to get his kids through the different segments and the parts. And we got everybody enrolled. The technology super easy. We were able to get kids in. He was able to act as instructor. The kids were able to do testing. And this teacher who knew very little was just able to coach the kids. We brought in some guest speakers to try to fill in some blanks. But the big question was, the next fall we hired a really awesome teacher. But the question was, how much of these kids lost from this missing instruction block? And the funny story is that spring, those kids tested better than they had the previous years. That next spring, which would have been that gap year where the kids would have really had some substantial loss, but iCEV, which is the patch that we brought in, those kids tested the highest that schools ever had test scores. So we always laugh when we talk about iCEV and how good it is, because it just proved, I mean, we're in a crisis, losing a teacher, the kids are going to fall behind, and the product was perfect and spot on, and those students were able to continue their education without a hitch. And so it's a kind of a great story and a good place for me to stop. And so with Lapson, I hope you've learned a little bit about us. She was saying I was going to share with you some great stuff. Hopefully you can get on our website and find some great things, or connecting with us, you can find some stuff that will really boost you as a teacher. iCEV and us are partners. We love working with you guys.
Well, Tom, thank you so much. We were so glad that we had the opportunity to feature our partnership with Lapson during CTE Inspired. So for those of you who would like to join us for the Q&A, you can find the link below, and Tom will be there to answer all of your questions. Thank you for joining us today.